Today, I'm doing a Bills 7-round mock draft after the Stephon Diggs trade. How are they going to rebuild? They got rid of a lot of pieces this year. How are they going to rebuild and get themselves back into Super Bowl contention? You can notice, draft hasn't started yet. You're probably like, okay, you're just waiting. I'm not waiting to start the draft yet because I got a pre-draft trade that I think one of the biggest things I've always thought about in the draft is you should never go into the draft with a glaring hole and pigeonhole yourself into making a pick. So I have a way, and they have a glaring hole at receiver. Josh Allen is in his prime right now, and I think it'd be a huge mistake to waste Josh Allen's prime throwing out Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel as your top receivers. They need some receiver help. I think that's pretty obvious. If you go into draft thinking like without doing anything, I think you're making a mistake because you're pigeonholing yourself in a receiver. Every team in the league knows you need a receiver. You know you need a receiver, and you're probably going to end up reaching or making a bad trade for a receiver. So if you want to see a way that they can fix receiver through the first round draft with some trading up, go check out my NFL first round mock draft that I put out earlier this week on Sunday, because that one I have a different situation of how they can attack receiver. But for this one, I'm going to go ahead and get myself a receiver that I know is a good receiver. He's a dude that, a veteran receiver that I know can win. I'm not giving up too much capital for him. He's a dude that could definitely be moved, and a dude that's going to help out Josh Allen move the chains on the offense. And I'm going to go to the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm going to grab myself Tyler Lockett. I don't think it's going to take much. We'll give it like pick 144. I honestly don't think it's going to take much. I mean, like Amari Cooper went for, a 5th round pick. Keenan Allen went for a 4th. So I think, I think it's honestly like pick like 160 or something. I don't think you're giving up much for Tyler Lockett. He's an older receiver. Giving up a late round pick. Like I said, the whole thing isn't about like which one of 133 to like 200 they're giving up. They're giving up a later pick, going ahead and getting Tyler Lockett on the team, so you're not pigeonholing yourself in needing receivers. You still want to get receivers. This doesn't fix the receiver position, but you can, if something else is on the board in the first round, you don't have to force a receiver. So we're going to go ahead and get that Tyler Lockett trade done, get a receiver, and then let's go ahead and start the draft. Go down. Now we're at pick 28, and Jerzon Newton staring me in the face is enticing, because I think Jerzon Newton's like a fringe top 10 player in this draft class. I think he's arguably the best defensive player in the draft. So him staring down, but like just with him and Ed Oliver, like, I mean, they could work together and they're both studs, but I just don't think that's the position I need. For me, in the first round, I'm really eyeing up either Adonai Mitchell, you go ahead and get another receiver. Like I said, even though I traded for Tyler Lockett, that doesn't take him out of taking a first round receiver. I just think it means you don't have to. Or you go Nate Wiggins. They got rid of Trey White. Rasul Douglas slides in at one cornerback position. You got like Benford and Taron Johnson slides in your slot probably, but like, I mean, I got Benford's all right, but like that doesn't stop me from. I'm gonna go with Nate Wiggins. I think Josh Allen can make more with less on offense, whereas defense, you need some guys in there with all the injuries they have. They're struggling on defense. Nate Wiggins, a lighter dude, but the dude can fly. Legitimate low 4.3 speed we saw at the combine. This dude likes to get up. He's a nasty corner. I think he goes higher than that in the draft. So like if he's there in the late first, I think that's a steal, because like I said, some people worry about the weight, but like we've seen it work with like Sauce Gardner. I mean, people were worried about his weight, and look at him. He's one of the best corners in the league. I don't think Nate Wiggins is going to be one of the best corners in the league, but like we've seen that lighter corners can work. I think he can make it work. He's not going to be the number one. Rasul Douglas is that. And then you kind of have your two guys, like Rasul Douglas can kind of be your off kind of coverage. He's great in zone with his eyes. He can play the field. You can have Nate Wiggins play the boundary and just fly and lock up dudes, play press on the backside. I think he's a fun dude. I think he fits well with that Bills. So now the Bills up in the second round. This is where I'm going to attack receiver again. Like I said, I want to get multiple receivers, I think. And here, it's between Keon Coleman and Jalen Polk. And I think what they don't have is that big body. And I know Keon Coleman's fallen a lot in the process, but still, when it comes to contested catches, this dude's an elite athlete. This dude, if you don't know, Keon Coleman was at Michigan State. He played basketball at Michigan State. So he's not just like a good athlete. He's a crazy athlete. Like to be able to play basketball at Michigan State and football and then go to Florida State and be a great receiver for Florida State. I mean, Keon Coleman's a dude who, like I said, he's dropped a lot. Like he used to be kind of like a first round guy. He's dropped throughout the process, but still an elite guy. And now I'm talking about walking into next year with Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel, and you're like, bro, what are we doing with Josh Allen? Now, if you walk in with Keon Coleman, Tyler Lockett, Khalil Shakir, and Curtis Samuel, that's a receiving core I can get behind. You got Dalton Kincaid at tight end. Like that's an offense I can walk behind and be like, okay, this offense can still churn out some high-scoring games with Josh Allen. So I think that's a good kind of fix to that offense. And we still got Nate Wiggins in the first. That was the beauty of trading Lockett. We didn't have to force like an 80 Mitchell in the first. It gives us room to kind of go with a more best player available and not force a pick. So that's the beauty of the Lockett trade. For any of you guys like, why would you trade for Tyler Lockett? That was the beauty. You wouldn't have Nate Wiggins otherwise. And I think Nate Wiggins is a great player. So that's where we go. Now we're up at pick 128. The first name that stared at me in the face is Leonard Taylor, but the only issue with Leonard Taylor is they made him play nose at Miami, and I just don't think that's his position. I think he's more of a 3-tech, and that's where kind of Ed Oliver's been succeeding is at 3-tech, so I just don't think Leonard Taylor and Ed Oliver fit well together. So that'd be the issue with me for him. I love Mo Camara. He's one of my favorite dudes in this draft class, and I'm leaning towards him to give some help. Tyke Smith is another dude that's actually really interesting. They got rid of Poyer in this last year, so they could use some more safety help. I think Mike Edwards is slotted to start at safety right now. So Tyke Smith might as well just be the pick out of Georgia. And Tyke Smith, a really solid safety. He's not a crazy athlete, but just really good safety. I mean, Georgia, you know, they always turn out good talent. I'm a little upset Mo Camara went, man. I was hoping Mo Camara would make it to my next pick, but we need to get Tyke Smith in the safety room there. I still am happy with that. Now we're up again, pick 133. The Bills have a lot of picks in this draft class. That's another reason why I wanted to make that Lockett trade, because look at how many picks they still have. 133, 144, 163, 200, 204, 248. A lot of late round picks, so I think that'll be good for them. I'm not going to take it yet, but I do think they could definitely use a developmental quarterback in this draft class. I'm not going to like take one here because they have a lot more needs still. But like, dude, you're looking like if they do want to take an early, I think Jordan Travis could be a fun developmental quarterback behind Josh Allen. I'm looking more when I talk developmental quarterbacks, probably people not even like on here, like late dudes like Devin Leary, take the arm talent kind of dude. Joe Milton, just crazy arm. I can see him taking him. Maybe we'll see once we get later in the draft, but not right now. I'm not going to attack him, but they could definitely use a developmental kind of guy. Now looking at pick 133, going over the board, they could still use some offensive line help. I think now, as much as I was saying, Leonard Taylor wouldn't be a good fit next to Ed Oliver. I think Mekhi Wingo or Christian Boyd would be a good fit. Christian Boyd is a rock in the middle of the field from Northern Iowa. I might actually, you know what? I just talked to myself. I'm going Christian Boyd here. He's just a solid player. A little bit of a slept-on dude, smaller school dude. He balled at the Shrine Bowl. He didn't get invited to the Combine, which was crazy that he didn't. But, like, this dude has power. He'll drive you back. I think he could be a good complement to Ed Oliver in the middle of that defense. So we're going to go there. Now pick 144. Kind of a similar board available. Logan Lee's another dude. If I didn't go D-tackle, I think could be a good fit next to Ed Oliver if they want to go that here. Looking at who's available. Michael Barrett. I kind of like some of their like if their linebackers stay healthy, they're solid. They just got hurt last year, which is probably like Milano's getting a little older. So you could definitely target like a Michael Barrett here, who I think would be worth a pick at receiver. I'm going to make a pick that might not go over well with a lot of Bills fans, but I think it would be great. I'm going to pick Isaac Guerendo from Louisville. He's a bigger running back, but still fast. As much as I like James Cook, and he's electric, I just don't think James Cook can be like a full 3-down. I don't think there's any like full 3-down backs in the league. Isaac Guerendo's a dude who's going to come in, bring in size to that backfield, and complement James Cook, where he can be kind of more an early down. James Cook can be used more as a receiving weapon. I just think, like I said, we saw their run game. When they started running the ball later in the season, it really looked beautiful, and that offense looked almost unstoppable, and they could run the ball. But the issue was just James Cook, I just don't think is that every down kind of back, and I think you need a good complement. We saw like Latavius Murray played a decent amount, because to complement him. So now you're complementing with Isaac Guerendo, who still has a home run threat, but has a bigger body and size to him that can be more of that goal line dude. Take some carries away from Josh Allen. We don't need him getting hurt. He's getting paid $50 million. Let's not get him hurt. Let's lean on James Cook and Isaac Guerendo, and I think that takes some heat off Josh Allen too, which helps. So that's where I'm going to go there. Now we're back up at pick 163. I really like Dwight McGlothern as another corner to get some help, but I think I want to tackle O-line depth. Looking at all the O-line that's available, I think they could kind of just use anywhere, help him out. Walter Rouse is a dude I like from Oklahoma. He's a dude, how big is he? He's 6'6", 322. He's a big guy. He can play tackle. He's, when you're drafting to do this late, they're not going to be starting. You're more getting a developmental guy. So we either take him. You know what? There's another dude I just saw that I like later. We're going to take Walter Rouse as a tackle. And then later on, there's another dude I like interior-wise that they can target as long as he's still available. The other dude I'm targeting, Kaden Wallace could be another late tackle, but I like Tanner Bortolini. I think he's a great athlete coming out of Wisconsin. He's a dude I'm a big fan of in the interior. I don't want him to fall, so we're just gonna take him here. I think he's a dude, like I said, good athlete, good interior O lineman. Where you need a lot of depth if you're the Bills. The O line has been an issue for a while, so let's get more depth. And I think that would work. Now we got 2 picks left, 204 and 248. We're just kind of getting high upside dudes I think can fit and hopefully provide some value down the line. Listen, when you're drafting this late, you're not looking for like starting. You're not getting any starters. You're getting more depth. Fill out the back end of your roster. We're going to go ahead and get, for me, a couple guys I'm looking at. Jalen Ford, a good athlete, linebacker out of Texas. I think they could use, like I said, linebacker depth. They got so hurt last year. Matt Milano's getting older. I think they could use some depth. Another dude I really like is Trey Taylor to take another safety just for that depth. Or Dominic. You know what? Okay, here's the plan. I like Trey Taylor and Dom Hampton. I'm a huge fan of both of those two dudes for safety, but I think one of them will be there at 248. So we're going to go somewhere else. And at 248, we'll go ahead and take our next safety. So we're going to take a linebacker. Look at my 3 dudes I'm looking at here in this linebacker Ford are Jalen Ford, Curtis Jacobs, and Trevin Wallace. They're all really good athletes. I've highlighted Trevin Wallace before as just a crazy athlete. Curtis Jacobs, really good athlete too. And then Jalen Ford, probably the worst athlete out of them, but still really good. We're looking at 6'3", 240. I really like Trevin Wallace. I might go Trevin Wallace here, 6'2", 241. We're going to take Trevin Wallace. I think he might be the best athlete out of all of them. He's a crazy athlete. I highlighted him in one of my pre-combine videos. Like I said, Matt Milano's getting older. They were just decimated by injuries at that position last year, so you need more depth, so we're going to go there. And then now let me guess, all the safeties were drafted. The 2 safeties I wanted were drafted, but we're still going to take one of my favorite sleepers in this draft class in my gems is Mark Perry. I don't know how this dude didn't get invited to the combine. He is an electric athlete. I haven't seen his pro day numbers yet, but they're probably crazy. This dude was an insane track athlete. I highlighted him a couple times before. He's a great player from TCU, and I'm going to go ahead and draft him as one of my favorite, like I said, favorite sleepers in this draft class. So that's going to be the draft. Let me know what you guys kind of thought about like the Tyler Lockett kind of move there and some of the picks we made. I think it could really work out well for them not pigeonholing themselves to a receiver in the first round. But this is my Bills mock draft to hopefully kind of get this franchise back on the right track because they really sold out to win a Super Bowl. And, of course, they ran into Patrick Mahomes 3 times in 4 years, and it didn't work out. But they got to kind of rebuild now, and I think this is a good little start to their rebuild. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Check out my full first-round mock draft, or I'll have a Chiefs 7-round mock draft coming out later this week too. And thank you for watching.